Well, howdy there, Internet people. It's Bo again. So tonight, I'm going to start you off with two quotes. The first quote is, "I have to get rid of judges." The second quote is, "And frankly, we should get rid of judges." I know they're pretty much the same thing. I just want to be very clear. This isn't something taken out of context, and it wasn't an off-the-cuff remark. This is something he has said multiple times. You can find that second quote on the White House website. This is the President of the United States advocating for the abandonment of the rule of law and the end of due process. It's what it is. Now, he can't really form a coherent sentence, but it does seem from context that he's only talking about immigration judges. That's nice. I mean, it's a bonus. He's not talking about suspending due process across the entire country just yet, but that does appear to be what he's talking about. The funny part about this is now, when Trump is speaking, if you pay attention when he's got his mouth open really wide, you can actually see Stephen Miller's hand in there running it. If you're not familiar with Stephen Miller, he's the White House advisor. He's the architect behind the travel ban, separation of migrant families, the reduction of all of it. All of it was Stephen Miller. And it certainly appears that President Trump has now abdicated to him and has willingly become his puppet. We are no longer dealing with President Trump. We are dealing with President Miller. President Miller seems to be under the impression that getting rid of due process will speed deportations. That's probably true. That is probably true. Historically, mass deportations are preceded by getting rid of due process. They're also followed by concentration camps. That's where we're at. Another step down that road. And nobody seems to care. Those people who should, in theory, care the most, the conservatives, the patriots, the 3%ers, they're ignoring it because it's their team. Bumper sticker patriotism at its finest. Now, I know there may be some people out there who are saying, well, I mean, they're illegals. Why do they need to see a judge? Well, what are you going to do when they come for you? Well, that's stupid. I'm not an illegal. I'm an American citizen. Who are you going to tell? There's no judge. You going to trust ICE? You need to ask Lance Corporal Ramos Gomez how that worked out for him. He was a Marine, served in Afghanistan, got picked up by ICE with his U.S. passport. Clearly a U.S. citizen, slated for deportation. Or Peter Brown out of Philadelphia. Or the guy from here in Florida, I can't remember his name, who was slated to be deported to Jamaica, although he had only been there one time on a cruise. Maybe it's not a good idea to just let bureaucrats do what they do, because there's going to be a lot of false deportations without judges, without legal proceedings. That's why due process is so important. That's why it was enshrined in the Constitution. I understand that, you just like the "we the people" part, so you can put it as a profile picture, but the rest of the document is pretty important. When they are done with the Mexicans from the 4 different Mexicos, they will come for you. That's how this works. That's how it always works. It's how it always works. You are next, and you won't have due process. Anyway, it's just a thought. Y'all have a good night.